Hafaday Welcome No Weekend Edition. I'm Krystal Paco. So glad you could join us. Nearly 1,800 Guam teachers have been without a union contract for several years, and the wait could stretch even longer after the Guam Federation of Teachers has reached an impasse with the education officials over the Teacher Duty Day. Isabaza has more.
It's a disagreement stalling years of work on a collective bargaining agreement that would affect thousands of public school teachers. On one side, the Guam Federation of Teachers hopes to negotiate the terms and conditions of the Teacher's Duty Day, something it says has been done in the past. But on the other side, the Guam Department of Education says the terms of the Teacher Duty Day are not up for negotiation. The reason? Acting Superintendent Joe Sanchez says the day is governed by the Guam Education Board.
So I guess traditionally it's been in the contract where we would kind of identify how long the day would be for teachers to actually be required to be on campus. The board has made it clear to at least our negotiating team that those items would not be included in the contract. A second item would be, I believe it's the calendar. Right, so those two items, setting the school calendar as well as the Teacher Duty Day, by law are the responsibility of the Guam Education Board.
However, according to the union, DOE is wrong in its assertion that the board has unilateral authority on the matter. Earlier this month, the union appointed an arbitrator, attorney Braddock Huseman, to help resolve the disagreement. Once DOE selects an arbitrator, a third party will then be selected to complete the process.
But it is really my hope that we're able to move forward with all of the other areas that are going to be a part of the contract and hopefully get a contract to these teachers as soon as possible. Being a teacher, starting off as a teacher in my career, I do know that a contract is very important because I think as a department, departments run kind of independent of the people in it, and in some cases, you really do need to have a contract in place to really keep the department kind of in line with protecting teacher rights.
He said although it's the department's intention to work within the spirit of the contract, he hopes to complete it as soon as possible. GFT representatives were not available for comment as of news time. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isabaza.
Bullying. It's not a problem just in the schools, but online too. Here's more on Bullying Prevention Month.
Hashtag kindness and respect.
Online and in real life, it's important to be kind.
Friend me, tweet about it, Snapchat, Pinterest it. Those aren't just simply catchphrases anymore. They've really become the lingo of many of our youth and many of the students in our school. And most kids and even adults spend a significant amount of time using social media.
October marks Bullying Prevention Month. This year's theme, promoting kindness and respect on social media. In a resolution presentation held earlier this week, Chief Justice Robert Torres says they'll continue to partner with the Department of Education to ensure students feel safe on campus and to educate them about being kind on social media too.
For students, we want you to be an inspiration to your friends and be kind and respectful to them on social media. It's been 6 years since we've been working on this campaign together to say no to bullying and really other forms of mistreatment in our schools. And the judiciary of Guam remains steadfast in its commitment to continue to work with the Guam Department of Education, its private schools, the fellow branches of government, and other community partners and stakeholders to prevent bullying.
One of the ways they're combating bullying in the schools is with school resource officers. Although the program was temporarily suspended due to changes in federal policy, SROs will make the return to campuses shortly. Surveys conducted among students and staff show majority support having a SRO at schools and feel the SRO has reduced fights, threats, and bullying. Along with the SRO program, the judiciary has the Ulvaeus Anti-Bullying Program, which has resulted in fewer incidents of bullying, cyberbullying, and sexting incidents on campus. Acting DOE Superintendent Joe Sanchez.
You can't do well in school if you don't feel safe. And really the sad thing is sometimes there are students even today who go to school who don't necessarily feel safe. And I think as a community, that's something that we need to address every single day and every single minute, whether it be just that one kid on the side who feels like he doesn't fit in, or if there's a group who so happen to be picking on somebody else, we need to step up.
An update now on the defamation lawsuit filed against the Archdiocese of Agana and Archbishop Anthony Apron. Attorney Jackie Terlahi represents Apron and argues the case should be thrown out.
There is a motion to dismiss that is currently pending. What happens in the legal process is there is a complaint that's filed. And then if the defendant feels that there is a legal basis to point out a deficiency in the complaint, we can file a motion to dismiss the cause of action. And so that process has already been instituted. And so a motion to dismiss was filed, and then we're giving a briefing schedule.
In July, 4 people alleging child molestation by Apron filed a libel and slander lawsuit against him and the Archdiocese because of video statements and press releases implying they were lying and were part of a scheme to destroy the church. The Archdiocese has retained local attorney Jeff Cook as well as the services of a law firm out of San Francisco. According to attorney Terlahi, the plaintiffs have until October 10th to file their response brief to the motion to dismiss. A new training unit has been established at the Department of Corrections. It's the result of a partnership between the Department of Corrections, GCA Trades Academy, and the Guam Department of Labor's American Job Center. GCA Trades Academy Director Bert Johnston says 10 inmates will be trained in construction. He adds, it's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness.
We started with an instructor class back in March. And then 2 weeks ago, we started our first classes inside the prison using instructors that were inmates of the prison, teaching other inmates in the construction craft trades. And the concept was, when they get out of this program, they're going to have something of value that they can take and start a new life with.
The program was made available through the Trades Academy's National Center for Construction Education and Research Training Unit. The NCCER is a nonprofit education foundation created 20 years ago. There are more than 4,000 such training units across the United States. The Guam Economic Development Authority has agreed to take over the operations of the Chamorro Village. GITA Administrator Jay Rojas says through a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Chamorro Affairs, they have agreed to take over the operations, maintenance, and property management of the Chamorro Village. The MOU is for 1 year, where GITA would take 10% of all rents collected to be able to look at the administrative costs.
Don't we have bigger and better things to do than go and manage something like that?
Well, in addition to that as well, we also have the 34 huts that we're going to be looking at creating a plan to. So that rent roll is going to increase. But the idea is to be able to help to spawn small businesses and get it back to its incubator status.
That's kind of the role of our real property division. Yeah. And honestly, if I look at Department of Chamorro Affairs is doing a lot of great work, but if you really look at what their mission is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, it's not running a shopping center, it's or running real estate.
10% of the total rent is estimated at around $40,000 a year. As part of the MOU, GITA would have the ability to change rates. Rojas says Chamorro Village actually started as a GITA project as an incubator for small businesses to grow. Puksai is a Chamorro verb meaning to nurture, which is also known as the informal way of adopting children. The Harvest House Resource Center is a place to help the community to formally continue this practice. Alyssa Clavea has more.
There are over 200 children who are in need of finding a home each year. The Harvest House Resource Center is a nonprofit organization that provides services to families who are interested in adopting children. Bethany Taylor is the director of the Harvest House Resource Center.
We have a resource room in the back. This has our clothing and our shoes and our toiletries, anything that we can do to help a child on their new adventure in life. They're going to be placed into a new home. Many of these kids that I have taken in have had no bed, have had no clothing, have had no shoes, and have had no food. I've had a baby that's gone 6 months without being fed. I've seen the worst.
The Harvest House also has a conference room to host parenting classes, support groups, and is a quiet place to walk parents through the adoption process.
You know, adoption is really hard on this island. I'm a foster mom from 2009, so 7 years of being a foster mom. I've had over 25 foster children in our home, and I've adopted one out of the 25. The whole goal of CPS is for the children to get into a safe home, be loved upon and cared for, and then go back to mom and dad when they have a safe and stable home.
There are children ages varying from when they were born to the age of 18 who are looking for families. Taylor says they find it most difficult to find homes for teenagers.
We can answer all your questions on what it's really like to be a foster parent, because you're kind of maybe in the unknown of whether you should do this or not. So we're the support system to CPS. CPS can actually license you and give you the child that's waiting a home.
Taylor has received abused, neglected, and abandoned children. With donations from the community, the Harvest House Resource Center is able to clothe them. They also provide children with basic necessities to move into their new home.
I would rather people take back and think, do I have an extra bed in my home? Do I have extra food at the table? Do I have space in my car? Do I have things that I don't need that I could at least give to a foster child? I think if we just took a moment not to be so overwhelmed by the American culture or the want to possess so much, and instead give.
For more information about the adoption process, you can contact Grace at Child Protective Services at 475-2659. And to contact Harvest House, please call 300-LIFE. Reporting for KUAM's News Network, I'm Alyssa Eclavea.
Stay tuned next on Weekend Edition, our D16 recap plus Crime Stoppers. Keep it here.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
IT&E is giving away a trip to Manila, plus other fabulous prizes during our Stay In and Win prepaid promotion. All you have to do is stay in IT&E's 4G LTE network. Keep topping up load, and you're eligible to win. 10 winners will receive a $10 load every Friday during the promotion. Stay in for 3 months, and you can win a 3-month Hulu gift card. Stay in for 6 months, and you're entered to win the grand prize, a trip for 2 to Manila. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details or visit ite.net. IT&E Motion Prepaid. Life in motion.
If you get nervous about having dental treatment, you're not alone. An estimated 35 million adults experience anxiety or nervousness at the simple thought of visiting the dentist. As your dentist, I strive to make your visit as painless or pain-free as possible. And I frequently tell my patients that in the 21st century, if we can give you medicines to put your tooth to sleep or medicines to take an infection or toothache away, we can surely give you something to help relax you and take all fear away. No one ought to sit in a dental chair thinking of bad childhood memories or fearing injections. If you're a dental coward, but you really do want your teeth fixed, don't wait until the pain is killing you. Come in, tell us your fears, and set up an appointment. We have convinced many that dental treatment doesn't need to be scary anymore. For your helpful dental minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. You shall never know all the good a simple smile can do.
There's no place on Guam like Chuck E. Cheese's. It's tons of fun with so many games, and parties are a blast, where everyone has fun. Come and party at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Call and book your party today.
Top of the day, everybody. We are talking Guam politics, and students at UOG's research program put together a recent poll probing the community's thoughts on how it thought the various races for the Decision 2016 general election are going to shape up. My good friend Sean Gumatauta is here in studio. two sports guys talking about politics, so we may frame this in a athletic context, I would assume.
Jason, there's going to be a winner and a loser, so obviously I guess we'll keep it that.
Yeah, well, one race, Sean, that certainly isn't a slam dunk, if you will, is the race for the delegate for Congress, because according to this poll, Madeline Burdett was 59% of the respondents' votes. Felix Camacho, your former boss, has 41%. That by no means is an easy race. 59-41 is still cause for concern, I would think.
Absolutely. In fact, as we're seeing the numbers over the last, these two polls, Felix Camacho has been out there working the streets. If you see his social media, between the two social medias, I'm kind of keeping tabs on both. They're out there. But seems that Felix is doing a lot of work on his ground game. For Madeline, she's been in Washington, D.C. So touching hands and not touching hands and social media, is that going to be a big difference in the final outcome?
And I guess fair to say, to contextualize this, former Governor Camacho, his platform that just rolled out this week, that came after the poll was taken. So it's going to be interesting to see how these numbers might go up or go down depending on how people react to it.
Right. Also, and some of his responses relative to the labor issue. And that's now becoming an issue, not just for this federal election, but also for the local election as well.
Of course, Felix Camacho emphasizing the fact that he was a former two-term governor, so which is always a smart thing to do. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the legislative race right now. Now we're going to jump around here. Frank Ogan, Mike St. Nicholas, BJ Cruz, Tom Matta, and Dr. Narissa Underwood. Those are the top 5 candidates. All of them, of course, incumbents. Skipping down to the bottom where the cutoff point, incumbent Senator Brant McCready, Jermaine Alerta, Will Castro, Helena Nelson, and Luis Muñoz are the 5, at least in theory, Sean, according to this UOG poll, who did not make the cut. Given that this is a small population size, and granted, polls like this can be, up and down week to week and everything like that, how much of a cause for concern is this for campaign managers who are representing their candidates?
I think they're looking at this and they're working overtime. How do they get their candidate out? I think most of them, we've seen over the last couple of weeks, the bottom 2 in the poll have been putting out press release statements, calling in the talk shows, trying to keep their name out. I am very surprised that Tony Atta was the 6th on that list. Again, him and Tommy Morrison were a little bit lower. I'm very surprised they didn't get a little bit of a bigger jump. Again, with about 4 or 5 weeks left, this is important for tactically how they'll go out to the pocket meetings, how they're going to go out and get raise money, how they're going to get their name out to the people and get them to vote for them.
And it's interesting because you, myself, and Dr. Ron McNinch from UOG were sitting on this very set about 2 weeks ago, and we said, let's see how the public reacts to Michael St. Nicholas's whole, refusal to sign the Democrat Party pledge and everything. And it would seem by virtue of the results here, he's on number 2 right now.
It didn't have any real impact. We've talked about it before.
If anything, it helped.
Exactly. We talked about this in the last cycle when there was a big push. This week, there's a push by the administration to go after Dr. Underwood relative to issues in education, and now they piled on labor. That's just going to help Dr. Underwood in terms of getting her name recognition. She's out there defending her position. It's a big boost for them, and especially with such little time left. And if this issue remains, it may not have the negative impact that people up at Adelup might be thinking they're going to get from it.
You covered politics for the better part of a decade in your role as a journalist, and then you worked in the administration, like I said, under Felix Camacho for 2 terms. Is there really such a thing as bad press when it comes to politics, especially like with the election bearing down on us in just a few weeks?
I think we can use some recent memory. One specific issue, Mana Silva-Tyron was a good example. So close to the election, that bad news did in fact have a negative outcome onto her race. When the Fab Four, they did their thing, I think it was just either was the last cycle or 2 cycles ago, it helped them. They actually won the top 5. So it had the opposite effect.
Now, who is the Fab Four again?
That was Senator Wampat, Senator, let me see, that was Respicio, I think it was Muñoz Barnes and BJ Cruz. Those are the 4, and it helped them out. And I think that it's this kind of negative press just ahead of the general is probably not ever real good political tactics, especially when you're trying to get a majority.
All right, Sean, we appreciate it as always, man, for the insight.
No worries.
All right, we'll see you next week with more political insight on the general election creeping on us very, very soon. Now, remember, you can actually check out and review for yourself the results of this UOG student poll. That's on KUAM.com and the KUAM News mobile app for Android and iOS. We are back after this.
Go for the Coco! Register for the KUAM Coco Road Races! The all-new Coco Road Race is bigger and better than ever! So join the Coco and start training today! We've added the 10K run-up to the half marathon and Edgerton relay! Run in costume and win cash prizes! Enjoy the live entertainment at the post-race Monster Bash after the races! Register online now for the KUAM Coco Road Races at KUAMCocoRoadRace.com!
It's the kickoff to savings event at Cars Plus in Muncie, going on now through September. Save thousands on a brand new Hyundai. Experience the award-winning Hyundai lineup with the best warranty on Guam. 10 years or 100,000 miles. The 2017 Hyundai Elantra starting at just $16,995. That's right, a 2017. Or how about the Hyundai Accent starting at just $11,995? Unbeatable. SUV lovers, the Hyundai Tucson is starting at just $21,995. The perfect vehicle for those tailgate parties. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com for easy shopping and quick financing. Kick off the savings going on now at Cars Plus, driven by you.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Daki Itanu program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Tita Maasi Matson.
Guam's port is being modernized and expanded so that more ships can bring goods and supplies to support our growing economy. It's happening because Governor Felix Camacho partnered with the Departments of Transportation and Agriculture to secure federally backed funding to start Guam's first major port improvements in 50 years. Through Felix Camacho's leadership, Guam's economic future looks brighter than ever. Imagine what he can do as your representative to Congress.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Camacho for Congress 2016. Gregorio Calvo, Treasurer.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true, Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted 2016 Terrain Denali. From GMC, this is the precision of professional grade.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today for great offers. We are your GMC dealer of Guam.
Halloween is coming up, everybody, and it is never too early to go out and find the perfect costume. However, you want to be safe in doing so, and as you prepare for Halloween, Officer Paul Tapao is here, and we have some tips for how little ones can enjoy what is normally a very festive time around the island. And, you know, Paul, Halloween has changed here dramatically because when you and I were young, you know, basically every single neighborhood on Guam would have their own, you know, trick-or-treat events and everything. Now it's kind of like segmented to different neighborhoods that are known to be safe, known to be very well lit, and known to have very good folks in them.
Yeah, the big villages that you mentioned, Barragata Heights, Santa Rita, you know, those are one of the...
Hyundai always has a huge party.
Especially the people down south. They give fiesta food too if their candidate goes out there.
The Anderson family also has really, really good parties.
Yeah, I know some good Anderson family down there. But you know what really is, you know, with the Halloween season coming up, you know, I know the first thing that parents are looking for is the right costume. And, you know, we want to advise parents that you got to tailor fit your child to the costume that's appropriate. You got to make sure you have enough space where they can actually walk comfortably without tripping over. Make sure that the costume's not flammable, you know. It's always important to read the label to see what's the material that the costume is made out of. Make sure your child can see. And make sure, you know, that they have visibility, not just in front, but they can actually use their peripheral vision where they can see side to side.
Mm-hmm. And especially like some of the costumes these days, I mean, admittedly, they were meant for kids like in the States. So like you're wearing like the onesies, which may be like very thick material. When kids are walking around these days, they can get very, very hot out on Guam streets. Even if it's not a rainy night, they can still sweat. So maybe carry some water maybe. Yeah,
absolutely. Stay hydrated because, you know, you're going to be walking. The kids are going to be excited. They're not going to tell you they're not comfortable in the costume. If it looks good because that's their favorite superhero, their face is gonna be gleaming with joy. I'm not gonna tell my mom that this doesn't feel right. So you know, you really do have to examine the costume that your child is gonna be putting on. You know, again, make sure you have an area where they can actually hold a flashlight, and you know, of course, their bucket for their treats and everything, and not trip over and, you know, be too much dangling around.
Okay, that's a really good point because you just mentioned flashlight. Typically, if you go in groups, the adult normally holds the flashlight, but those can get expensive. And, you know, if an adult's supervising or, you know, chaperoning a lot of kids, not every kid would have their own flashlight. How well do those chem lights work?
Oh, it's perfect. We always have that slogan: "Be seen, be safe." If you're seen and the lights actually are illuminating you as the person walking, that's the perfect approach.
And those last like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, that pretty much lasts the whole night.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's a few tips in which we recommend parents to consider when shopping for Halloween costume.
Okay, well, what's this week's crime of the week?
This week's crime of the week is a robbery that happened in one of our Chinko parks.
All right, let's go find out.
On Saturday, August 27, at around 2:20 in the morning, officers from the Tumautumuni Precinct Command responded to a robbery call at the Speed Game Room located in Tun Jose Sala Street in Tumuni. Now, according to the police report, the game room attendant was seated within the cashier's cage area, and two masked individuals walked into the game room and proceeded towards the cashier's cage area. The victim indicated that the first suspect wearing a red jumpsuit had entered the game room, with the second suspect, who was wearing a maroon jumpsuit, stood within the center of the game room and acted as a lookout. The suspect with a red jumpsuit began taking an unknown amount of U.S. currency from the cash register as he brandished a black handgun. Fearful for her safety, the game room attendant stood in fear as the suspect instructed her to stay in the room and not to follow them out. Both suspects were seen fleeing the establishment through the main entrance. As a result of the robbery, no one was harmed. The victim only described the two suspects to be locals, and the Guam Crime Stoppers and the Guam Police Department need your help in reference to this robbery. If you have any information about this crime or any other crime, please call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. That's 477-4357. You can also send a text to 486-HELP. That's 486-4357. You can also submit information of a crime through our webpage at guam.crimestoppersweb.com or call the Guam Police Department at 475-8615, 6 or 7. Guam Crime Stoppers wants to remind the public that we do not use caller ID and you do not have to leave your name. You can receive a cash reward of up to $1,000 if the information provided leads to the arrest and conviction for the person or persons responsible for this crime or any other crime.
All right, Paul, so in your experience, Guam's a unique place when people go trick-or-treating, especially young kids. Dogs are often roaming around, or they're like going around the yard, and it's not their fault, but animals can get kind of like startled, especially if kids are really excited and running. Do you advise, especially with your own children, to wear Halloween costumes that have masks, or just like maybe just like a suit but maybe no mask?
Like I said, it really is the child's comfort level. If he's comfortable with that and he can see and he can breathe and there's circulation, I'll go with what the child desires. But really, as a parent, we just have to make the assessment. If you feel that it's not going to be appropriate with the weather, it's not going to be appropriate with sight, then you're going to have to make some adjustments if your child still wants to keep the costume.
And now I got to ask you, two-part question. One, what is your favorite costume for Halloween? And then two, how good does it make you feel as an officer of the law when you see kids dressing up as police officers and they say, I would like to be that because I aspire to be a member of the Guam Police?
When I take my kids out on Halloween, I used to get this, hey, that's Shrek. They see me, they thought I was Shrek. So, I have to actually play the Shrek role and everything. But when I see kids, especially when they recognize me out of uniform and they acknowledge, Officer Tapal, I'm a police officer. I really just can't hold my smile in.
That must warm your heart, man.
Oh, it does. And you see them that they want to be police officers, and they don't have the guns and everything. They just wear the uniform and they walk around, and that's the beautiful thing about it. They don't need our sidearms or anything. It's just them using the uniform.
All right, we'll tell you what. Normally we would end on this camera. Gentlemen in the back, if we could we end on this camera? So Paul and Jason are going to end this episode. Shrek and Donkey. We'll be back right after this.
Take care.
These used cars are Nissan certified, and let me show you why I stand behind every used car that we sell. First, our certified technicians inspect every used car to make sure it's safe, reliable, and mechanically sound. Then any scratches and dings are given first-class treatment at our body shop. And after thorough detailing inside and out, the car is ready for sale. At a price that's always below Blue Book. That makes Nissan used cars your best buy.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
It's the kickoff to savings event at Cars Plus in Mighty, going on now through September. Save thousands on a brand new Hyundai. Experience the award-winning Hyundai lineup with the best warranty on Guam. 10 years or 100,000 miles. The 2017 Hyundai Elantra starting at just $16,995. That's right, a 2017. Or how about the Hyundai Accent starting at just $11,995? Unbeatable. SUV lovers, the Hyundai Tucson is starting at just $21,995. The perfect vehicle for those tailgate parties. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com for easy shopping and quick financing. Kickoff to savings going on now at Cars Plus, driven by you.
Why don't you train for the Cocos Kids race, bro? Shoo, not even fair, bro. I'll just win that. Boom!
Calling all parents. Sign your kiddos up for this costume run October 29th. Register now at GuamCocoRoadRace.com.
For the first time in 27 years, a non-luxury brand has won the prestigious J.D. Power Award for initial quality, and that brand is Kia. That's right, Kia, the automaker that brought you the funky award-winning Soul and the rugged Sportage SUV ranked highest among 33 of the world's best manufacturers. And your new Kia not only comes with award-winning quality, but it's backed up by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Quality comes standard with every Kia from Triple J. Check out our proud Kia lineup online at triplejguam.com. Get pre-approved instantly. triplejguam.com. Trade-ins welcome. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
And that's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by